So, the title of our explainer today might make you stop and think for a second. Frank, 32, still needs reminders. I mean, we usually think of a 32-year-old as being completely self-sufficient, right? So what does it really mean to be independent, but still need a little help? That's the story we're going to unpack.
All right, let's dive in and meet Frank. On the surface, he's just a regular guy, living his life in his 30s. But his story, it really challenges our assumptions about what it takes to build a successful life.
And yeah, he's 32. He's at that age where society pretty much expects total self-reliance. He's not a kid just starting out.
And look, by almost any measure you can think of, Frank is independent. He lives on his own, he manages his own life. But, and this is a big but, that's not the whole picture. Because his independence actually relies on a kind of hidden system.
So, what is the secret to his independence? As we're about to see, the story is a lot more complex, and frankly, a lot more interesting than it first seems.
This brings up the big question, right? If there's a catch to his independence, how in the world does he pull it all off? How does he handle the day-to-day grind?
Well, his secret isn't some fancy new technology or a medical breakthrough. It's actually a really simple, practical toolkit. We're talking timers to stay on task, checklists to make sure nothing gets missed, and even just basic reminders on WhatsApp. This is the scaffolding that makes his independence possible.
Now, it is so easy to look at these kinds of aids and see them as a crutch, maybe even as a sign of weakness. But that's missing the point completely. These aren't liabilities. They're his assets. They are the very tools that make his success possible.
But why does he need these tools in the first place? This isn't just about being a little more organized. This is about navigating a lifelong reality. Let's get into the why.
The reason for all of this boils down to one single, stark fact. FASD doesn't disappear in adulthood. This isn't some phase that Frank is going to outgrow. The challenges are permanent, which means the support systems have to be too.
So what is FASD exactly? Well, it stands for Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorders. It's a group of lifelong conditions that can happen when a person was exposed to alcohol before they were born. And here's the crucial part. It can affect things like memory, attention, and executive function, the exact skills that Frank's tools are designed to support.
So when you put all these pieces together, you get a totally new picture. It's not about just surviving, but actually thriving with support. And that kind of forces us to redefine what we think independence really is.
We tend to have this very old-fashioned view of independence, that it means you need absolutely no help from anyone ever. But Frank's story shows us a new reality. True independence isn't the absence of help. It's having the right help so you can live life on your own terms.
And what's the result of embracing this new way of thinking? This. He's thriving, not just getting by, not just surviving, but actually genuinely thriving. And he's doing it with lifelong support. That support isn't holding him back, it's the engine that's driving his success.
So the biggest takeaway here is all about dignity with support. It's about being independent, but supported. It's about understanding the realities of FASD in adulthood. And ultimately, it just goes to show that dignity and support aren't opposites. They can and absolutely should go hand in hand.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty big question. We so often define success as overcoming a challenge or a condition. But what if Frank's story shows us another way? What if real success isn't about erasing our challenges, but about building a strong, successful life around them? What if we all started by acknowledging what we need and built our lives from there? That's a powerful idea to think about. Thanks for joining us.